Right now, a message can leave your phone, cross an ocean, and arrive on another continent before you finish blinking. It feels weightless, wireless, almost magical. But it probably did not cross the ocean through a satellite. It traveled through a glass thread, sealed inside a cable, lying in darkness on the ocean floor. And if the wrong anchor catches that cable, part of a country can suddenly feel the distance to the rest of the world. So how did the internet, the thing we call the cloud, end up at the bottom of the sea? And when one of these hidden lines breaks, who goes down there to fix it? Imagine sending a photograph from Lisbon to New York. Your phone first hands the data to a local network. Routers then move it toward a landing station on the coast, an ordinary-looking building where land networks meet the sea. From there, the photograph is divided into packets and encoded as pulses of light. Those pulses enter optical fibers and begin a journey across the Atlantic. The International Telecommunication Union estimates that submarine cables carry about 99% of international internet traffic. Satellites matter, especially for remote places, navigation, and rapidly deployed links. But for moving enormous volumes of data between continents, fiber has the capacity and speed the modern internet demands. Every video call, financial instruction, cloud backup, and international stream shares this hidden physical system. Yet the cable carrying it can look surprisingly small. In the deep ocean, where anchors and fishing gear are rare, a cable may be roughly the width of a garden hose. The armor becomes heavier closer to shore, where the danger is greatest. And inside that modest shell is a structure engineered to survive pressure, corrosion, tension, and decades in a place humans were never meant to work. At the center are optical fibers, strands of extraordinarily pure glass. Lasers flash information through them in different wavelengths, allowing many channels to travel through the same fiber at once. But light weakens over distance. An ocean is far too wide for a signal to cross without help. So at intervals along the cable, repeaters amplify the optical signal. Electrical power for those repeaters is supplied from the landing stations through conductive layers in the cable. This means the system is not just a passive rope between continents. It is a powered chain of precision devices assembled kilometer after kilometer, tested before it ever touches the sea. One small manufacturing defect can become a very expensive problem beneath thousands of meters of water, which is why laying a cable begins long before a ship leaves port. Engineers survey the route. They map slopes, trenches, earthquake zones, fishing grounds, shipping lanes, and existing cables. Near shore, the line may be buried beneath the seabed. Farther out, it can rest directly on the ocean floor, following a route designed to avoid the worst terrain. A cable ship carries the line in enormous circular tanks. At sea, the cable passes over the stern while the ship advances with deliberate precision. Too much tension and the cable can be damaged. Too little, and it can settle in the wrong place. The ship must account for depth, current, weather, and the geometry of a seabed it cannot see from a deck. For days or weeks, the cable disappears into the wake. A new physical path is being added to the internet, one that companies and countries may depend on for years. Then the ship leaves. The surface looks unchanged, and the cable begins its quiet working life, until it stops. Most cable faults are not scenes from spy film. Many happen much closer to shore and have ordinary causes: fishing activity, dragged anchors, equipment failure, or natural hazards. The first sign may appear in a network operations center, not at sea. Traffic drops. Alarme arrive. Engineers compare measurements from both ends of the cable to estimate where the fault lies. The internet is designed with alternative routes, so a single break does not usually switch off the world. Data is redirected through other cables. But the detour can reduce available capacity, increase delay, and place pressure on routes that are still working. For a well-connected country, the interruption may feel like slower service. For an island or a region with only a few international paths, the consequences can be far more serious. Hospitals, banks, public agencies, businesses, and families all depend on a system they rarely see and cannot repair themselves. Somewhere in that dark expanse, a cable no wider than your arm has become the most important object in the ocean. And now a specialized ship has to find it. The repair ship sails to the estimated fault location. In shallower water, remotely operated equipment can help identify or recover the line. In deep water, crews may use grapnels, special hooks dragged across the seabed, to catch it. The damaged cable is brought to the surface. Technicians work aboard the ship the broken section, splice the optical fibers with extreme precision, restore the protective layers, and test the connection. This is surgery performed on the nervous system of the planet, on a moving deck, far from land. When a repaired section passes every test, it is lowered back to the seabed. Traffic returns to its intended path. The alarm's clear. Most users never learn the name of the ship, the crew, or the cable that briefly held their attention hostage. But one repaired line does not remove the larger risk, because these cables do not spread evenly across the ocean. Geography forces many routes toward the same narrow corridors and landing regions. That concentration makes economic sense. Cables need accessible coasts, network connections, permits, and practical routes. It also creates choke points. A natural disaster, maritime accident, or deliberate attack in the wrong place could affect several systems at once. Governments increasingly treat submarine cables as critical infrastructure, while technology companies invest directly in new routes to add capacity and resilience. The map is therefore more than a picture of engineering. It is a map of dependence, of who connects to whom, where traffic can be rerouted, and which places have too few alternatives. The internet may feel borderless, but its most important paths pass through real territory, real ports, and real political decisions. The next time a photograph crosses an ocean, imagine its real journey. Light leaves a building on the coast. It races through glass beneath storms, ships, whales, and the crushing dark. Repeaters keep it alive across thousands of kilometers. Somewhere else, it climbs back onto land and becomes a picture on another screen. The miracle is not that the internet is invisible. The miracle is that such a physical, fragile system feels invisible almost all the time. The cloud has cables. It has ships, factories, landing stations, repair crews, and a seabed. Understanding that does not make the internet less magical. It reveals the human work that makes the magic reliable. And the next hidden system is even closer to you, the data center deciding where your cloud actually lives. Subscribe, because that is where we go next.